and welcome to Counterpoint, a musician's tale. My name is Cornel Bogdan, and I am honored, absolutely honored, to have on with us today a legend in music by the name of Al Stewart. Al, welcome to the show, and you look great, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Just wonderful, and thank you for finding the time for us. July 10th, you'll be at the Kent stage in Kent, Ohio. You'll be bringing in the Empty Pockets. We're so looking to have you back and look forward to it. Tell us a little bit different about this tour. What should the audience expect?
The same old nonsense, I think. I'm a little too old to think of anything new, particularly at the moment. We do mix up, we do different songs. I don't know what I'll play. I never really make up my mind until 10 minutes before the shows. So, but some of the things that I normally play, and maybe one or two that people aren't expecting.
Mm-hmm. I just love Empty Pockets. I've been a fan of the band for a really long time. My background is in blues, and you couldn't have picked a better band to get together with. I know you're a really great guitar player, a really great piano player. What do you usually write on? Where does your writing come from? What instrument do you use, or don't you use either of them? You just put down the words first.
Oh no, the words always come last. You think of a tune. The piano, I can't really play the piano. I use it for working out chords because there are chords that I can play on the piano. Usually a hit and miss thing. I'll just put my fingers anywhere and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some chords in some of the songs that I don't know what they are. I have no idea what they are. They I can't actually play them on the guitar. So you can do things on the piano that you can't do on the guitar, and vice versa. So yeah.
One thing I've always loved about your music, Al, is the fact that they're like mini movies to me. And all music is like that, in many ways. You paint your entire picture inside your head, what the person looks like, or, what the scenery looks like. But you have been so good for so many years about actually painting a portrait in your listener's head. Is that something that's is it tough to do?
Well, not for me. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the. I mean, they are movies. Yeah. I mean, I've watched an enormous number of films. I mean, probably one a day. Like all the way through my life. Said sometimes more. So I think most musicians, they can play an instrument, and as an afterthought, they might throw some words in, and I just don't work that way. I mean, it's to me, it's all equal parts. The lyrics are history, of course, literature, documentaries, films. All of these things have an equal part with music in the songs. So music's only just one small element. I mean, I'm as influenced by literature and cinema as I am by music. So it's basically I take all the different elements that are interesting to me and I put them in a bucket and I stir, and out comes a song.
You are a tremendous historian of actual history. Is that something that you really enjoy reading and studying to this day?
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
always have a history book going. I mean, I spent 60 years doing it, so this it's second nature. I mean, like I don't know. I thought about doing an album of all the American presidents, for example, but I'll get sidetracked if I really can't think of something to write about. I just open an atlas at random because geography is another thing, because that is history in motion. So, for example, I opened for the last album. I opened an atlas as I do at random, and I got Kerguelen Island, which is in the South Indian Ocean. It's a tiny little outcrop of rocks. Used to be a continent 300 million years ago, but now it's just a little outcrop of rocks. And so I wrote a song called "The Loneliest Place on the Map," which is actually, because it's at least a
Oh
thousand
my goodness, that's great.
miles from any form of civilization. And I thought, it was a French outpost. I mean, they used it as a weather station, and I'm not even sure if it's inhabited to this day. But I just thought, the loneliest place on the map. This has got to be it. This is as far as you can get away from anything and everyone. It would have been good exile for Napoleon, but they took him somewhere else instead. So I just opened the atlas at that page and wrote that song. The next day, I opened the atlas and I had China in front of me, and immediately, oh, I could think of like six songs straight away. The Great Wall of China. So the phrase that came into my head, and I haven't written the song yet, is "You built a great wall of China around your heart." So around your love or something. I can't remember it now. So open up your heart and let this Mongol in.
Oh my goodness! Congrats! I
Well,
love it.
it's and there were six other songs on the map of China. I just immediately saw them. So an atlas is, if you absolutely can't write a song, just open an atlas and it's all there in front of you.
Al, I mean this with all due respect. Please, when I say this, you are by far the most intelligent musician I have ever spoke with in my life. Yeah, it goes beyond music with you. It goes beyond books. That cranium of yours never stops, does it?
I hope not. It's not doing me a lot of good. As you know, if you study rock and roll, intelligence is absolutely the last thing that you want. I mean,
Yes, so true, so
it,
true.
it tends to annoy people more than anything else. It won't make you into a rock star, that's for sure. Um, Someone once described a rock star as being an acrobatic idiot savant.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I just love reading about you because you're a Renaissance man. I heard you're a wine buff. Would you consider yourself a wine snob?
Well, I'm a master connoisseur of French wines, or to put it into French, I'm a maître conseil en vin de France. I actually have the certificate hanging on my wall. So, yeah, I do know about wine.
And,
It's
and
another
it
wine and history and literature and movies and books and biographies and geography. I mean, it's all the same thing to me. It's all like you're looking for obscure things that are interesting that no one else has written about. I only have two sayings, really, I suppose. One is never write about things that other people write about. So,
Mhm.
I wrote a song about the German invasion of Russia in World War II, which is not a popular theme for Justin Bieber, for example. So, well, you know what I mean.
I
Uh,
do.
so, uh, so find something original to write about, and then use language which isn't in any other song. So this involves me putting, oh, I don't know, septuagenarians into songs, or yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is, but just use language that no one else uses and write about things that no one else writes about. And that way, you just don't sound like anyone else. You never will. I mean, I'm not going to go, "Oh, baby, you've left me, and I feel so sad." And if you came back, I'd be quite glad actually. And but if you don't come back, well, I think it's going to be bad. So yeah. I can't write like that. I don't know how to write like that. At some point or other, I'm going to get Stalin into it because he comes into everything. So
Al, I've been asked over the years, Cornell, if you had a chance to sit down and be a part of a dinner party, who would you like to be there? I think I have changed my tune after talking to you. I would love to be a fly on the wall at a dinner party with just you and Bob Dylan.
oh, and Barbara Tuchman too.
Oh,
You know,
and who?
Barbara Tuchman. You know who
Yeah,
that is?
yes,
Very
yes.
famous historian. She wrote A Distant Mirror, and it won the Pulitzer Prize for it, I think.
I saw
So,
I saw a documentary on her. But
yeah.
if the two of you just talking, and I doubt if you and Bob would talk about songwriting, you talk about everything else. But it seems like your writing kind of goes the same way. I'm not going to go the traditional route. I will do everything I can to stay away from the traditional route.
Well, yeah. I mean, Bob Dylan, obviously that's how I grew up because, I was a teenager and I heard Bob Dylan and I thought, what's this? Because until then it had just been the Beatles. I Want to Hold Your Hand and,
Yeah,
all that
right.
stuff. But that's what I was doing. I was playing in they were called beat groups in those days. And Dylan comes along and what is this? A hard rains are gonna fall. What the heck is this? This is something else. So I bought the records and I memorized the freewheeling Bob Dylan and Times They Are Changing, and I just memorized all the words on both albums. And then I thought, oh, well, this is going to change my life. And I instead of playing rock clubs in the seaside town where I grew up, I went to London and started playing Bob Dylan songs in folk clubs. Um, then, of course, I got riotously lucky. I mean, none of this would have happened in 64 and none of it would have happened in 66. But I arrived in the spring of 65 and Bob Dylan was playing at the Royal Albert Hall. So I went to see him. And it was, well, I mean, it's hard now to put it into perspective for a modern viewer or listener. The Beatles played basically 25 to 30 minutes every night. And you
Right.
had 5 or 6 acts on the bill. Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas were on, maybe a comedian and a conjurer, and like whatever it was. And the
Yes.
Beatles came out, they sang 7 songs, and that was it. And Bob Dylan came out with just an acoustic guitar at the Royal Albert Hall, and he played for 2 hours. And I didn't even know that was a possibility. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And I thought, if one man with one acoustic guitar can do that with lyrics, then I'm not. I'm going to stop trying to be a pop singer, and I'm going to
Yeah.
have a crack at that. And so that changed my life. And then I went to a folk club which had just opened up in London, Les Cousins in French, but everyone called it Les Cousins because they couldn't speak French. So, and so I got the job down there being the compere because they ran all nighters from Friday midnight to 6 in the morning and Saturday midnight to 7 in the morning. And the guy who ran the club had a girlfriend, and he was damned if he was going to sit in a basement of like a folk cellar for 13 hours at the weekend.
Yes.
he,
Yes.
he wanted to go out with his hot date. So he said, would I run the place? And I said, sure, I'll be the compere. I'll put the people on stage, take them off, do all the stuff. And so I did that for about a year. And after all that time, I looked at all the guests: Bert Jones, Ray Harper, Ralph McTell, Paul Simon,
Wow.
Jackson C. Frank. Like all these people came through. Even Hendrix came through one night. And after listening to all this for a year, I thought, oh, I got a pretty good idea of how to do it now. And then I got another break, which was Paul Simon. It was right before Sounds of Silence came out, and he was playing English folk clubs. And I had nowhere to live, and I convinced the landlady where he was staying to let me move in. So I was actually in the next room to Paul, listening to him write songs. So that was very helpful. And then I met Bert Jantz, and he turned my head
Wow.
because I never heard anyone play an acoustic guitar like that. So I began 1965 trying to join rock bands. I auditioned for quite a few. I actually auditioned for the Paramounts, who became Procol Harum, but I didn't get it. and by the end of the year, I was a folk singer. I was running the Cousins. I had a residency at the,
Man.
and I sold my electric guitar, and that's it. That's how it all happened. It all happened in one year, really.
What a story. Incredible from the man himself. Al, I know you're busy and I'm going to let you go here in 1 second. But I have got to say to you, when I was a young, impressionable DJ, there was nothing better for me to say than 1976. The year of the cat. Here's Al Stewart. And that song started off as an instrumental, and
Yeah.
you battled to get to get it into what it became.
Yes, it was a piano instrumental written by Peter Wood,
Yep.
uh, and he had this riff, blang 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 blang, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And I said, that's very pretty. I said, let me write some words to it. He said, no. He said, you'll ruin it. He said, it's a piano instrumental, and it's going to stay that way. And I said, okay, all right, but I didn't mean it, of course, because I went straight out and wrote a set of lyrics. Actually, I think I wrote about 4 different sets of lyrics to it. And I said, well, let's just record it and see what it sounds like. It's if you hate it, we won't release it.
Right.
So we went in the studio with Alan Parsons and we recorded it along with a whole bunch of other stuff. And after he'd listened to it a couple of times, he said, it's not bad. I said, okay, well, can I put it on my record? He said, I suppose so. So
it, it worked out for everybody. Seriously, Al, this is an absolute honor. I can't thank you enough. You have made my producer here at the show, Greg. He has been following you all of his life. And what an honor. And July 10th, you will see Al Stewart and the Empty Pockets. Folks, they will bring it to you at the Kent stage. Doors open at 6:30. You can get your tickets right now at kentstage.org. Al, happy travels. Continue the music. And you are an absolute delight, my friend.
well, that's absolutely delightful for you to say.
and I mean every word. And the very best to your lovely wife, Jill. She's a hell of a producer on your end.
Well, yes, she can do a little bit of everything, thank God, because I can't do any of them.
We'll see you on July 10th. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Al Stewart. My name is Cornel Bogdan. This is Counterpoint, a musician's tale. Peace.
Late in December, the sky turned to snow. All around the day was running down slow. Night like a river beginning to flow. I felt the beat of my mind go, drifting into time passages. Years go falling on the fading light. Time passages. Buy me a ticket on the last train home tonight. I'm not the kind to live in the past. Years run too short and the days too fast. Things you lean on and things that don't last. Well, just now and then my line gets cast into these time passages. There's something back there you left behind. Time passages. Buy me a ticket on the last train home tonight. Hear the echo, feel yourself starting to turn. Don't know why you should think you've got something to learn. It's just a game that you play. All pictures changing, you're part of a crowd, laughing at something and the music's loud. Girl comes to watch you, you once used to know. reach out your hand and you're all alone in those time passages. I know you're back there, you're just out of sight. Time passages. Buy me a ticket on